challenge.
Okay.
Well, good morning, Jerry. Thank you so much for being here. Hailing all the way from Michigan. I'm a fellow Michigander myself.
Oh, wow. Where from?
Grand Rapids. I'm a West Side girl.
Nice, nice, nice. So my morning routine is similar to working out. It's not SoulCycle though, but I wake up and right off the bed, I go for a 6-mile run.
Wow.
And then I go to work.
Wow.
And then you go to work.
And then I go to work to train. Exactly.
Love it.
Oh, that's 6 miles. Ooh.
6
Thank
miles.
you all so much for being here on #Wealth Wednesday. We're so excited to talk to you more later in the show.
So excited for our guest today.
I know. So what's up, you guys? Little check-in. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I was going to maybe go to the AMAs last night. Didn't happen. But I did try. So in New York, Natalie is on all the bulletproof stuff. So I was like, I've been wanting to try this. I've done the getting terrible carbs out of my body, but I've never truly gone over to the system. I guess there's like 2 systems in your body. One runs on sugars and carbohydrates and one runs on fat. And you can go into the ketosis state of running all on fat. And I just want to try it out. But I don't think it's sustainable at all. But so yesterday I was eating just protein, vegetables, and fat. And I could feel my body doing kind of weird things. It was like, what is going on? My body was like, what is going on? It was, it wasn't like a whole detox feeling, sometimes you get really tired from that, but it was more just I could feel my body going, what are you doing?
I think it's tough. I think it's tough to find a one-size-fits-all process or system for anybody or for anything. And so I'm guessing maybe it has to be adjusted. I don't know.
I don't know.
Sure.
There's so many people who are talking about living in the state of ketosis right now. It's all the rage here in La La Land, this keto diet. And anywhere you go, they serve you an avocado or poke, so you're fine. It's very manageable. But it's really interesting because they do say it can take up to 30 days for you really to start adjusting to that diet. So I think the first day or 2 would be wonky for anybody. That said, I'm a carb girl, so I'm just not, I'm not giving up my toast in the morning. It's just not going to happen.
It's not sustainable.
Or the wine.
It's not sustainable, that's what I got to say.
Well, we'll see. I am so excited because we are gearing up for LA Fashion Week. Yes, Art Hearts Fashion is producing it. It's going to be at the Majestic downtown. I'm super excited because I will be partnering with Fashion TV and getting some great behind-the-scenes coverage of all the shows that are happening Thursday through Sunday, as well as making some appearances at the La Femme International Film Fest. So we're excited about that. Yeah, it's going to be a busy, very fashionable week. So
I remember watching Fashion TV years ago. I would just leave it playing in the background because it was so beautiful, it was so interesting.
Yeah, I love it. I'm super excited. You'll have to follow my Insta stories, Rob, so you can see there.
Of course.
Okay.
So what do you do? So are you going to go to the Women's Female Film Festival?
I was planning on doing it. Yeah, I was planning on the La Femme Festival.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just going to play it by ear.
Yeah,
definitely planning on attending
created by
that,
women for all people. So I think that men are included in this.
Yes, also men in the sizzle. So
Okay, good.
Well, we were so excited to have Leslie LePage. She is the founder of La Femme International Film Festival here on the show with legendary casting director Valerie McCaffrey here yesterday. Let's take a look at the rewind.
And I'm proud to say that because so often as women, we're afraid to talk about sales, we're afraid to talk about money. And when you make the transformation, the shift to think of money is actually when you've actually helped somebody, you actually begin to realize that this is a great thing. And yes, everyone should boast about it because it's for everyone's highest good.
We've got a special screening. We're doing kind of a salute empowerment to women in animation. So we've got 2 anime features. One called Megalobox. It's a TV series from Japan. And we're bringing in the producer, Manako Fuzuyoshi, from Japan to do the Q&A.
And so when you get out of that house and you start paying all your own bills and taking care of all your responsibilities, you become so overstressed that it starts pushing down all these energy-producing hormones. And then essentially what happens is you're literally living on adrenaline, and as adrenaline goes down throughout the day, now your energy declines, you get tired, you get stiff, you get tight, you start to develop all kinds of issues because these energy-producing hormones have been pushed down to a low level.
Because they say you can learn by listening and just being in someone's presence, you can actually catch what they have. So I'm not claiming to catch anything.
But you caught something from the Dalai Lama, I
But
hope.
being there was just extraordinary. And why I went was I wanted to see how did they foster well-being in children in the Eastern world.
There's too much going on in the world, and I wanted to create something that would help everybody to have a level playing field.
What a fantastic show.
Great day, another great day. So many great people in our community. So let's talk a little bit about Wealth Wednesday. One of my favorite days, talking about claiming our birthright of prosperity. And of course, we know health and relationship and love is the most important wealth, but we're going to talk about how to create passive income. I think it's one of the most requested things I get asked beyond the spiritual stuff I do, of like, how do you build assets? Because when I was in my 20s, I worked my ass off, like buying and fixing up real estate, and then eventually becoming just an investor and becoming financially independent by the time I was 30. And I honestly did not think it was anything special because I worked so hard for it. But it's not until I went out in the world and people were like, how do you do that? I guess it's not like a normal, it's not the average person that does, builds assets and passive income.
Yeah, I'd say that most of us associate money with hard work.
Right.
And we never sort of think beyond that because we're just trying to basically keep up with the hamster wheel.
For sure, the rat race.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's great to make your money work for you. That's the goal, right?
That's right. So there's 4 areas basically in business. You can either be an employee, which is great if you're happy and thriving, there's nothing wrong with it, or there is self-employed, which is basically where you're exchanging money for time, or you're a business owner and you develop it and hopefully you're able to build it as an asset and work on your business, as not in your business, or you become an investor. And I think the point is that if we're here to advance our consciousness and make an impact in the world and all those things, that we have to learn how we have money working for us instead of us working for money. So I think it's a really important conversation, and I think it's like something that people just they're just not thinking about it, which is like, if you opened up to it, the possibility is that it's infinite. Our potential is infinite, and it's important to think about what we truly want to create and what legacy we want to live. And money is part of that. It takes money to have resources, right?
Absolutely. Money gives you freedom. And it's a good point. I think one of the other points that I've sort of discovered along the way is that it's great to model other people and how they've created their money and how they've created their wealth. And that being said, we have to carve out our own unique path to that.
Sure.
Because I have a lot of people in my private practice that think they want to be an entrepreneur and they just don't have the profile for it, and they wouldn't like it, they wouldn't enjoy it, and they wouldn't be very good at it, but they insist on doing it. So sometimes you have to get the experience behind you to realize that it's just not for you. But yeah, I think everyone has a unique path to carve out when it comes to making money.
What's the personality test that you use for your clients?
Oh, there's so many. I'll have to drop them in underneath one of our posts.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
One day we'll have to do a segment on that for sure. I think it's important. So
actually, I say Richard Koch, the author of 80-20 Principle, speaks to it very well. So there's an entire section in his book about sort of, to help you assess whether or not you're meant to be an entrepreneur or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I think that one of the first things to realize is if you choose to be an entrepreneur, which I didn't even know what an entrepreneur was. I'd never even heard the term until I moved to Los Angeles. Business wasn't a part of my school. I went to school for broadcasting. They taught me how to speak on television, how to be an entertainment journalist. They taught me nothing about business. So when I came to LA and you start building a business for yourself, if you will, booking gig to gig, you realize maybe that isn't so sustainable. So what can I do to build a business for myself? What can I do to think like a, quote, entrepreneur?
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because I'm excited to talk to Melissa a little bit more about this.
For sure.
She received the largest investment on Shark Tank in history.
Wow.
In history. She really had the mindset of an entrepreneur. And it's so interesting because it doesn't mean that you will have instant success in whatever you do. For the most time, you're going to have to, quote, bootstrap is what they call it, your business. That means you're paying to play. You're funding this endeavor yourself. Then you're doing it for free a lot of the time. Before you can actually charge for your business, it takes a very, very long time. And a lot of people aren't ready to foray down that path and pioneer into the life of being an entrepreneur and release the stability that comes with being an employee.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's key. So a lot of people need that stability.
For sure. It's not an easy thing. They talk about the laptop lifestyle. We crack up about it because the laptop lifestyle, so you go outside, you can't see your computer because it's too sunny. You're like schlepping around, you're working like 24/7, and you're like, this is not fun. But after you get over the first hump and you're able to like actually make some money, have some assets, then it gets easier and easier and easier. So it's really getting through that first quantum leap, and it's hard work, I'm not gonna lie.
First million is the hardest.
First million is the hardest, there's no question.
I'll never forget the first time I had an experience of like residual income or like passive income. It was through modeling and acting. I remember just doing a job one day and then like a year later receiving a check And I was like, what's this for? And I was afraid to report it. I was like, I want to keep it, but I should probably let somebody know. So I called the agency. I was like, hey, I got a check today. And they're like, oh yeah, that's what he said. And I was like, this is great. To just sleep and not book any jobs for a whole year and still make money. I love it.
We need that more in our life. There's no question about it.
Oh my gosh.
We love the hustle, but I also like watching the checks come in, no problem.
Yeah, it's true. And and I'm never going to stop saying this because this is who I am. At the end of the, make as much money as you can, and of course take, I think Jerry's a great example of, ways in which you can make, he's sort of distilled down sort of 3 different paths to making money, and we often think about it just in terms of hard work, but also there's passive income and there's investing. But I would say at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're as happy as you can possibly be in the journey of making that money, because you never know when your life will end, and you also never know how long you're going to have to maintain or sustain that effort to make the kind of money that you think you need to make in order to be happy.
Mic drop. Okay, that's it.
I'm just saying.
That'd be a really interesting topic too to talk to our guest Kai about, who is a holistic practitioner and really pioneering in neuroscience, and what is it going to take to keep us that way. Yesterday I thought, am I going crazy? I'm not going to lie. This entrepreneur life is so hard, and I'm driving my car full of my stuff, and I'm trying to find, a place and have some sort of semblance of stability. I thought, I might be crazy. I might be losing my mind. Or is it a healthy dose of delusion?
That's the good delusion, right? That's the good delusion.
That believes that I can do something exceptional and extraordinary with my life, with this business, with the show. But you do wonder, how am I going to make it there without losing my mind? Kai, I need your help.
I need some alchemy in the house. Some alchemy is coming up. I feel it.
We do. Just as a little bit of a consolation, I have an uncle, and he would always say, anytime anybody around would say, oh man, I'm losing my mind, he said, that's a really good thing. Like, you want to lose your mind, because once you're out of your mind, you can finally, first of all, have a little bit of peace, a little bit of happiness, and sometimes that's when your greatest creative ideas come. So I encourage a little bit of healthy craziness and getting out of your mind.
We are a little crazy around here.
Well, at least on my skin, it's going to look good. I'm going to bring the Spanish kit home, thanks to Daisy, and I will feel like my best self, so I don't lose my mind.
That's right. Well, let's take a little break. When we come back, we're going to pick their minds on how they've built wealth. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, Los Angeles. I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Paffrath.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting news from all over the world.
We are live
from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning LaLaLand. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer. This is Good Morning LaLaLand, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available on Apple TV and Roku. It's going to be a Good Morning LaLaLand.
Welcome to the very first episode of Sadie Says. I'm your host, Natalie Sadie. Welcome, Daniel Hall. First episode.
I didn't even realize it was your first episode.
Hi, welcome to Dr. Erin Show. It's been a while since we've been here, and I'm so excited because we're going to be talking about discovering your purpose and calling, and I have Elle Russ in the house. Thank you so much for coming all the way down here today.
Hi everyone, and welcome back. I'm your host, Tara Tenner, and this is the Model Mama Show. I'm so excited about our guest today. We have Chelsea Cannell-Briggs, who this is literally a blast from the past, you guys.
It's true.
We haven't seen each other since we worked together at Fox Sports.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I am excited and delighted because we we have an amazing guest. So thank you, Janie, for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm a fan of both of you.
I'm Jasmine Mollier, and this is LA Unscripted, and I'd love to welcome to my show Mr. Jacques Silverstein. Thank you so much for being here.
It's my great pleasure to be with you.
This is somebody who went from super nerd to supermodel, so I'm so excited. Let's talk to Anna.
Yes.
Anna, you were the winner of our very first Viva Glam model search.
Yeah, you guys were actually my very first photo shoot.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Reshape. I'm Allie Landry, and I am so thrilled to have our next guest. So I am so grateful that you are here with us at Reshape today.
Thank you, Allie. I'm so happy to see you. And you couldn't look more gorgeous if you tried.
Today's guest is best known for being the fitness guru on 6 seasons of The Biggest Loser. He's a New York Times best-selling author. Dolvet. Dolvet, we don't even say Quince anymore. It's just Dolvet. It's like
one name.
Dolvet.
You are tuning in to Slay with Rachel McCourt, and I have a fabulous guest. In studio with me is Liza Glukoff. She's just been named executive producer of programming at Awesomeness TV. We have perfect lighting. We've got some Spa Girl vodka in case we get a little crazy.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Millennial Life. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard, and today we are joined by the very beautiful former Miss California and now a TV host, Natasha Martinez. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having
me. Of course.
Hello and welcome to show. I'm Josephine, and here on our couch today is none other than the heartthrob of Shahs of Sunset, Shervin.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ren Wood Show. I am so excited for my guest today. I have the beautiful Bianca Hayes. Thank you so much for being here, Bianca. Give me a hug.
For this episode of Purpose, I'm your host, Brittany Zonker. I'll see you next time.
Hola, yo soy Gina Moreno y soy una reportera aquí en Los Ángeles. Para mí, mi pasión es para decir las historias de las personas que han luchado lo imposible. Todas las entrevistas aquí en Focus TV. Hi, I'm Gina Moreno, a reporter here in Los Angeles, and my passion is to tell people's stories, the stories of people who have accomplished the impossible. For all the interviews, make sure to watch Focus TV.
Welcome back. We are live from Los Angeles, and I'm so excited to welcome to the show on #Wealth Wednesday, Melissa Carbone. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me on the show.
First of all, congratulations, 10 years. Massive success with LA Haunted Hayride.
Yeah, it's incredible. I still like pinch myself. I can't believe it's been 10. I feel like I should be in year 2 right now.
So tell us about it. So you have a haunted place. You come and like do all those scary things for Halloween, right? Is that what it's all about?
Yeah, so the LA Haunted
I didn't even feel like I was in Los Angeles.
That's it. Like that is that nth degree of like suspension of disbelief that we try to like achieve with all of our live attractions. But that one in particularly, like that is a world.
And it's not just a hayride. You had the Trick or Treat land. That was so cool. Tell us about that.
So Trick or Treat is one of our other scare zones. It's another part of the LA Haunted Hayride. So LA Haunted Hayride, as an all-encompassing term, is 4 zones. So there's the Hayride, which is the 25-minute ride through Griffith Park, and then Trick or Treat is our own kind of dystopian suburbia that we created. And you go and you knock on doors and people answer them and they will trick you or treat you.
Oh my goodness.
But everything is very thematic and goes through the narrative of the year. that's one zone, and then we have another one called the House of Shadows, which is our blackout maze. It is, I think, still the only true dark maze in all of California where you actually have to use your hands in front of you to find your way out.
Wow. That was a mind quest.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie. I started panicking.
How long this is a business that is obviously right for this month. How long does it run for the month?
The whole entire month of October. We're open 20 nights through October. Yeah.
At 30 acres, how did you even get your hands on 30 acres?
It wasn't easy. We were the very first ever private-public partnership for the Los Angeles Rec and Parks for the city. So that was no easy feat. Obviously, a city the size of LA, there's a little bit of red tape.
Just a little.
So it took a long time, but we we worked through it because we had the support of the city council and of my district, which is District 4, and the LA Rec and Parks. There are a few token people there, Vicky Israel and Joe Solisis from the city, who just really believed in this idea with me and wanted to help move it forward, and we did, and now it's our home.
Is there anything that you learned about branding in creating the Hayride, or maybe remembered or was reminded of?
For sure, yes, absolutely. I mean, I think the thing about branding that I kind of is my navigating, North Star is to, bust out into the world like you're Disney, right? Like for me, it's never like the term like dip my toe or start small. Like I would rather gut myself than start anything small. So when someone is like, we're gonna start small, I'm like, well, you just lost me, right?
Aww.
So from a branding standpoint, I think the way you introduce yourself to the world is what they'll remember, right? And then I think from there, everything is either yours to win or lose. And so for me, with the LA Haunted Hayride, it was year one. We didn't have a lot of money. It was me and my partner at the time who were, corporate American, born and bred right out of college. So going into this weird, unstructured world was interesting and scary. But I knew that if we were going to launch this, it couldn't be, an ad in the back of a local LA publication. So we secured the funding, just pounded the pavement, created some really non-strategic partnerships, and we were, all over this town. We had billboards, we were on the back of buses. Ryan Seacrest in the Morning was talking about us, K-Rock was talking about us, and Kevin, we had all of that girth of that kind of promotional and marketing support behind us, so that when you saw us out on the street, it wasn't like, oh, look at that mom and pop new little cute haunted house popping up. It was like, what is this?
It's like
you
it
couldn't escape
existed for a million years. I mean, it started as an icon.
Yeah, it did start as an icon. I love that, actually. I'm going to swipe that from you.
I'll give it to you. It's interesting you mentioned the red tape, and as a female entrepreneur, it seems as though you are just cutting right through that. Where did you get that from? Where did you learn this mindset to be such an incredible businesswoman?
I don't know that you can learn that. I think there's for me, I call it my freight train. I get taken over by this freight train mentality when I think of something, or I'm just very compelled, right? So I don't think it's something that I've learned. I think I've always had this this freight train mentality, whether it's good or bad. I mean, it can work against you sometimes too if it's not in the entrepreneurial space. But for me, I think you can learn or kind of become more comfortable with is the fear of failure, right? I think the fear of failure is so crippling to so many people that they never even jump. That idea never even comes out of their head. It just stays there and it's never realized, right? It's just it becomes this thing that never lives and breathes outside of your head. And I think once you do jump or you do activate or you do take that first step, whether you fail or not, I think you become more comfortable with the process, right? I've had a ton of uppercuts to the jaw along the way, and those things were probably my best lessons and my best teachers, because now I'm not so afraid of that anymore. And when you're not afraid, of the punch to the gut, then I think you take a lot more risk.
Or you can just go to the haunted house and get all your fears out, so that you can launch into the business, right?
Maybe I've just become unscarable at this point.
So tell us where people can find the tickets and everything online.
LAHauntedHayride.com. We'll have tickets and all the information you could ever want. Very easy process.
Very excited. I'm going to go check it out. My son's grown. I would definitely, but I'm ready to take this on as a team.
Yes.
I think we should go do this.
Absolutely. And gear up for Tailgate Fest.
Tailgate Fest, year 2. Yeah, we're going to hit that pretty soon too. It's my second venture.
It will be America's biggest and best country music fest.
I believe that. I believe Tailgate Fest will be the biggest country music festival in America.
Wow.
Oh, well,
Soon.
I can't wait to celebrate that. I'm going to bring my boots, babe.
Please, bring your boots. Absolutely. Get a truck, pop some tops, drop some tailgates, and your boots, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being with us.
Of course,
We're really excited.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more in Good Morning La La Land.
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning into This Week in Focus. I'm your associate producer of the Focus TV network, which is America's first video streaming talk show network, but you already knew that. And I got my girl with me,
Jez Moye, co-host of Good Morning La La Land.
So last week on the Focus TV network, we had the Wrenwood Show. On Purpose with Brittany Zonker, we had
the incredible actor Reggie Watkins.
On the LA Home Show with our host Natasha Phillips
was broker extraordinaire Amy Kane.
Yes. On Eyes Up Here with Lindsay Palis, we had
the actress Shai Fontanet.
On Naked Chats with Josh Murray, we had
Sheena Marie from Vanderpump Rules.
Yes, we're also so excited to announce the newest issue of Focus magazine.
And we are lovingly calling it the Romance Issue. We're proud to feature Ms. Tosca Musk on the cover, along with Focus TV family Rob Mack official.
Yes,
and
our guy,
Lori Harder.
So, speaking of Rob Mack, co-host of Good Morning La La Land, Jeslyn Moye, there was a very busy week at Good Morning La La Land. Who was on the show?
It was a great week in La La Land. On the show, we had two-time Emmy Award-winning producer and actor, Eddie Perez.
Yes.
We also had dating expert Laurel House.
What?
She co-hosts the hashtag Man Whisperer with Rob Mack.
With Rob Mack.
We were really excited to talk tennis with Carrie Lynn. And all the way from Orange County, Rachel Savoda.
Wes Gear was actually here repping his Rock to Recovery event.
And Focus TV with Good Morning La La Land was on the red carpet to promote Rock to Recovery 3. We talked to Drew Carey, Jeremy Jackson, Kira Reed Lorsch was there. Let's take a look at the concert.
Let me hear you say, hell yeah! Say, hell yeah! Ready for the F-bomb? Say, fuck yeah! Now scream! I love you guys. Let's do this.
So much fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning into This Week in Focus. I'm Victoria Simone.
And I'm Jessica Moye. Don't miss the new issue of Focus magazine.
Welcome back to Wealth Wednesday on Good Morning La La Land. I'm so excited to welcome our next guest. He's a personal friend. He's an Amazon best-selling author, Jerry Ford. Welcome to the show, brother.
So nice to meet you. Guns, drugs, or wealth? Which one do you guys want?
That is the question.
It's an incredible title. Where did this story begin for you?
You know, it's funny because originally the title was something else, not interesting. And then I was reading one of Robert Greene's books, Multiple Streams of Income. And he said, I want you to take your book title and I want you to place it next to your favorite books. And I want you to honestly pick which one would you read. And when I placed my original title next to all the other titles, I said, I need a new title.
He's a master for sure. So tell us about wealth and what is your definition of wealth?
So first of all, wealth, people get it a little confused sometimes, but wealth is not how much you make, right? It's how much you accumulate. And this book is about how me as a personal trainer built wealth through real estate, stocks, and smart spending. But I tell it as a personal trainer, and I tell it in layman's terms as more of a porch casual conversation.
So I'm wondering, though, at what point, how much money did you have before you thought, I can now start investing? Because so many people think like, oh, $500 wouldn't be enough, 5,000 isn't enough, 20,000 isn't enough. I need real money so I can invest it into the market.
Well, I slowly built my asset portfolio just by the year. So I had this, I used to work for a gym, and then I left the gym, and that's when it hit me. I had this, I have this really wealthy client who's a 1%er. And one day I woke up and I called him and I said, how did you make as much as you did? Because a lot of people can make $1 million, but this guy has made over $1 billion. And I was like, how did you do that? And he said, okay, when you're in town again, let's meet. I said, I'm on my way to New York.
He's waiting for you.
Right now, you know? And from there, he said, you know what? I think you need to educate yourself, so read. And then from there, I bought my first property. I rented out the tenants as passive income. And I used that money, that passive income, to reinvest. And then at the same time, I was building a portfolio in the stock market. And at the same time, I was educating myself and reading as much as I possibly can so that I can build my assets, reinvest all the profits without killing myself and going on a ramen noodle diet.
I've been there.
But that's what it takes, you know?
Sometimes you gotta eat those top ramen noodles. It's not fun. Makes you appreciate the wealth when it comes.
Yeah.
So now, I know that he teaches, and I'm sure you do as well, you can buy assets and accumulate assets without any money. You could become the person that is the worker, that's finding the deals, that's doing the fixer-up or whatever it is, right? So tell us a little bit about that. Did you do any of that along the way?
Actually, I didn't, only because I was a bit greedy and I wanted to own 100% of the assets, in this case the properties, and I wanted to have 100% of the profits and reinvest those profits. But there's a section in my book where I talk about buying property with OPM, and that's basically
other people's money.
Yeah, other people's money. And that's it's basically finding a deal, and I use an example. I use an example to where someone can find a deal and someone can put the down payment down, and then the person who puts the mortgage under their name don't have to put the money down, and then they can reap the tax benefits, which a lot of people don't realize what kind of tax benefits you can reap. They can reap the tax benefits, and then at the end of the deal, they can negotiate maybe like a hedge fund split, which is like a 20-80 split. And the person who doesn't put any money down can get 20% of nothing, which can be a lot or a little.
But one thing I think is interesting, because you are a trainer and obviously you're very good at that. Someone could also build the asset of a company that actually is a brand that eventually could be sold off as franchises. It could be a company that goes public. It could be a company that you sell off. Like, there's so many other ways. If someone's reading your book, real estate's one way, but there's many other way of assets. Do you get into that at all?
There's many other ways, but the main three things that I touch on is real estate being one. I touch on the stock market as having a decent portfolio, and then I touch on how to build your own company, because people who build their own companies are 4 times more likely to become a millionaire than people working for a Fortune 500 company.
So take us back, though. The book is titled Guns, Drugs, or Wealth.
Correct.
What are you going to say to the guys in Detroit, the women in Detroit who are stuck in guns and drugs?
Well, one, I think this is an option. Right? I think everything starts with yourself. So it's titled Guns, Drugs, or Wealth because I'm from the projects of Detroit. So growing up, I had a choice, right? I had a choice to choose guns, drugs, or wealth. And although I've been through all 3 of these titles, first it starts with the mind, right? And then after you decide which one you want, and then you can start on a path of wealth. But first it starts with the mind, and then anybody can educate themselves, right, to get on the path of wealth, or the billionaire track, as I mentioned in my book.
And it's, one of the things, so of course I met Jerry when he was training. He's not just a trainer, he's a celebrity personal trainer. I mean, you had top-notch clients, and one of the things I love about you right away was you got this huge, incredible smile. He's like the most personable guy, and he's incredibly resilient too, which I wasn't aware of for the longest time until we started talking. So, and I only want you to share what you feel comfortable about.
Yeah.
But you were very young, and you went through some very horrific experiences. And so you getting to this place where you are now, Amazon bestseller, and sort of having accumulated all this wealth, it's a story I think people want to hear a little bit around. So could you share a little bit about that, some of the things that you've sort of been through that have gotten you to this place where you're, so now sort of so committed to?
Definitely, and I don't have a problem sharing, because I think that every moment brings you to the next, But I'm from the projects of Detroit, and the first traumatic experience of my life was my brother was murdered on my mom's birthday. And after that, I think I realized that I really needed to do something with my life. And literally right after that, my best friend was murdered, and I actually witnessed this. And it's so hard for people in different areas in the world, especially Detroit and south side of Chicago, because people are a product of their environment. And a lot of people say, oh, just do better, but people can only decide to survive or cave into the experiences, which is very easy. So that happened, but one of my outlets was martial arts. I did martial arts. I trained 7 days a week. I had a traditional martial arts instructor who was nuts, right? But
and you won some gold medals for that.
Yeah, I'm a 4-time gold medalist in the Junior Olympics.
Wow.
And all of those experiences made me just want to really get out and really survive. And I always say that if somebody wants success, like they need to breathe, eventually they'll get it. So I feel like all those moments brought me to where I am today.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we truly believe that our greatest triumphs are what become our calling. And so thank you for listening to the call and giving so much value and service back to people around the world. So
Yeah. If you got $5.
Yeah.
Get a coffee or something. Thanks so much.
Well, tell everyone where they can find you, where they can work with you.
They can find the book and myself on Instagram at RealJerryFord and Twitter at RealJerryFord. And the book, Guns, Drugs, or Wealth, is on Amazon, it's on Audible.com, it's on iTunes, it's everywhere.
Nice.
So,
Thank you, Real
Thank you
Jerry
so
Ford.
much.
We appreciate it. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Roll.
Drum roll, please. Part of the Focus TV family, Ms. Kelly Gores is gracing the cover this month. She is the filmmaker behind the Heal documentary. We have a very special interview with Mr. Mark Teschner, Ellen Racketon, and of course some incredible people. We have a special video about it as well. It's very near and dear to my heart because this issue, I actually was the managing editor.
You did so much work, Jazz.
Yeah,
Big
thank
shout out to
you.
Andy and you and everyone that's been involved for sure.
Thank you, Andy, for the opportunity to be such an active part in this community.
Speaking of empowerment, Jeslyn, you crushed it.
Right?
Wow,
Boy.
thanks, Rob.
You are a power player, girl.
I really appreciate that. I couldn't do it without the both of you. You are my enlightenment. You are my life school every morning. So thank you for letting me be a part of your community.
So for people that haven't seen the documentary, let's just give them a little overview of what is the documentary. We're going to show the trailer in a minute, but from your perspective, tell them a little bit about it.
Yes, so the film is basically showing people how incredible the body is and how we're designed to heal, and how big of an impact our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions have on our physical body. So as you guys were mentioning before, those 9 healing essentials that people, tapped into, only 2 of them are physical. The rest were mental, emotional, and spiritual. So that I look at as kind of the ratio for what you need. If you want to heal physically, you really need to bring in the emotional and mental factors. And we see it in the placebo effect, how what you believe affects your biochemistry and your physiology. So belief and the mind-body connection is very powerful.
Good morning, La La Land, and we have the huge honor of being with Lillian Garcia.
Oh my God.
This month, gracing the cover of the Influence issue
Look at
of
that.
Magazine. Thank you so much for being
It's a beautiful
here.
picture.
So gorgeous.
Holy crow. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is really crazy. I mean,
it's beautiful.
You guys have no
It is.
idea what this means to me.
It does?
Yeah,
Aw.
it does. I tear up like so easy sometimes, but no, this is great. Thank you.
Of course, is the cover. Gorgeous.
Oh my God,
gorgeous
that
cover.
is so awesome.
And we have a little surprise for you, which is your article within the magazine.
This is
and
so
the cover.
amazing. Holy moly, what is
A
going
real
on? Oh my
biggie.
God.
Oh, yes.
When I'm out of town, I will leave that for my husband.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. Today is Wealth Wednesday, and we're so honored to have alchemist in the house here, Kai Van Bodie. He's a pioneering integration of ancient alchemy and neuroscience. Tell us about that.
Well, I spent a lot of years in China learning martial arts and healing arts, and I really wanted to make an impact with people. When I was young, I lost my mother and my brother to diseases Western medicine couldn't help. And they weren't really open to new age kind of energy healing stuff. So I went to school for Chinese medicine, and I took those ancient alchemy practices, meditation, breath work, and I put them through the lens of neuroscience and research so that the Western mind could have full buy-in when they did technique, no esoteric, strange terms necessary, and then entrepreneurs, business people would understand the benefits of it. So it was really about wanting to lower the barrier for people, to have them buy in without having to disengage their rational mind.
It's all about the language, right?
Yeah,
It's so crazy, right? It's like the same stuff, different. But so on Wealth Wednesday, we always say that wealth, our health, is the ultimate wealth, the primary first, beyond anything. So what does that look like? If someone's working with you and they're going, okay, I'm ready to take the advancement in my health, how do you take them through this alchemy?
So the system that as I look through the ancient alchemy practices that I was practicing, and then what science was supporting, I came down to 6 gates of power, where we either leak energy or we can garner and harness energy. And the first gate is shadow gate, which means from 0 to 7, we all get traumas from our parents in our life. If you don't heal that, it's always biting you in the ass. So you got to do the inner work.
Subconscious work.
Yeah. Second one is meditation and mindfulness. Human attention span is down to 8 seconds. It's a second less than a goldfish.
Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. So if we practice specific neuroscience-based meditations, we can counteract that attention deficit disorder, where we make bad decisions, where we get distracted, where we multitask our business into the ground. Not to mention all the health benefits of meditation. Breath work, no more powerful way to affect your physiology than to take control of your breath. Wim Hof, a teacher of mine, and I've taught breath work for years. That's super powerful. There's adaptogens and theogens and nootropics, lots of big words. What's in your cup in the morning is going to make a difference to whether you're going to crash in the afternoon, whether you're going to sleep well or not, and whether or not you're putting energy back in the bank account of the adrenals or the kidneys. So you can have a delicious morning beverage that does all those things. And the ultimate, the capstone of what I teach people, especially entrepreneurs, is heart intelligence and flow states. So you probably had people on the show before, and I believe that our greatest resource as human beings is to generate authentic, positive emotions, not false ones on top of an anxious physiology, but real ones. We use biofeedback for that. Heart rate variability monitor from Heart Math. And then ultimately we want to be in flow. You guys are having fun here. You're loving what you're doing, right? You guys are, this is your joy and flow here. So.
But how do you keep the entrepreneur from, okay, they're in their flow in the morning, right? By midday, they're starting to go off course. By the time they're driving home, they've lost their mind. They've got all this positivity on top of the, I'm going to lose it, my adrenals are failing.
Right.
Something's going to give.
Right. So we want to work, I have to work with them from the bottom up and the top down. So the bottom up is that we got to hack their sleep to make sure they're really sleeping. You can't escape lack of sleep. It turns into something called body debt. Eventually your body will borrow from the tissue and the hormones. So the bottom up is like, make sure their nutrition is right. Make sure they're having the right adaptogenic herbs that are replenishing those adrenals, either giving them a little more energy or actually calming them down. But then the top down is like, I mean, there are breathwork techniques. And this is not a exaggerated claim. In 5 minutes, you can go from the edge of insanity to clear, calm, and focused. Because the breath can access bliss just through oxygen in the bloodstream, through holding. I mean, I always think the ancient yogis and the Taoists, they were pleasure seekers. I mean, it looks like they're on the mountain and they're fasting, but they're so happy with nothing.
Right.
Like they see us as the ones that sacrifice going into life and hustling. So, when you learn these breath techniques, you will be hard to choose not to do them. They only take 5 minutes and you will feel the difference. And you'd never want to not do that. It's too short of investment with too high of a return.
I just love that. I remember reading a book once. It was called 24/7 Joy by Sadhguru, and he basically was saying, the most profitable business is the one that invests the least amount of time, energy, effort, and resources to get the greatest possible profit. And that's exactly the same approach that you want to take as an individual human being to get the most amount of bliss and joy and happiness in your life, that you want to invest the least amount of time, energy, and effort to get the greatest possible bliss.
That's it.
Right? So I love this. So you're saying that breath work is, of course, one of the major gates to doing so.
Yeah.
And you mentioned another one that I'm really interested in, of course, which is positive emotion.
Yeah.
And that it being, that positive emotion being something deep and authentic and not something that you just sort of paste on top of really unhealthy anxiety.
My mom would call it that fake it till you make it.
There you go. Right. Exactly.
Which can be useful, it can get you through a rough spot.
Yeah.
But better to be able to authentically generate it. Yeah.
How?
Well, there's two pieces. Now, one is just the breath work itself. Because of the increased oxygen in the bloodstream, you start to feel high. So we change the physiology, then we can more easily change the emotion. But the second way is there's a little ear monitor called an HRV monitor. It clips to your shirt. It's Bluetooth to your phone, and you're watching the wave, which is telling you how coherent your heart is. The heart has these beats between, speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. An unhealthy person has a jagged line, like it's like mountain peaks and then dips. Healthy person has a smooth sine wave. So as you're thinking, you're breathing in your heart, you're thinking about your dog, or you're thinking about a work project, you can watch the biofeedback tell you you are not in a good state around that. You can't lie about it. Some authors I know use that to write. If it's jagged, their writing sucks.
So it's literally in flow state.
It's in the moment, and then you change to a different thought. You change to a different thought, and eventually you find a thought that accesses that state. Now here's the part that I love. This is where the science comes in. Your heart is 6 times more influential on your brain than your brain is on your heart. So when that heart goes into coherence with positive emotion, it sends an electrical signal that allows your brain waves to be coherent. You can actually access your flow state, your higher thinking. You can make better decisions.
Just love this. And so talk about, too, I'm so interested because that flow state isn't only helpful for you, it's also helpful or destructive to other people around you, right? So I've read a lot of research about, sort of when you give someone a non-Duchenne smile, a smile that's not authentic, that you cause little microscopic tears in their heart. Yeah, so can you talk a little bit about the ways in which positive emotion that I feel influences other people in the world?
Well, I mean, the first one, which is it's like the woo-woo new age stuff and the science are just getting closer and closer. So the first thing is all of us right now are in each other's heart field, electromagnetic field. So if I'm inauthentic or I'm depressed, I'm gonna suck a little bit of energy from you guys. Whereas if I'm uplifted and I'm coherent, and I think that's why martial physical training, sometimes just our physical presence can uplift people. You can feel that there's a state of coherence coming off people. But the flow state, selflessness, effortlessness, richness, and timelessness. When we are doing an activity and we're loving it and our individual ego disappears and we're super effective at it, and we also experience this level of this is significant, I'm having an impact. I mean, that's really how you heal the world.
It's so profound too, and I love the way your approach, because it's marrying the science and spirituality in a way that is so deeply harmonious and integrative that I think almost anyone can understand, right? It's just beautiful. And what I love about this flow-like state is that when you're in flow, you're literally inspired, you're in spirit, and you're at one with that infinite, eternal presence that we might call Source or God.
That's it. I mean, sometimes when I work with really high-level entrepreneurs, they say, Kai, I can't justify 5 minutes of meditation. And I'm like, the reason you can't is the reason you must, right?
Yeah.
Because when you go into meditation, the part of your brain that tracks time, that tracks your self-image, am I meeting my goals, that shuts off. And that's when the body floods with healing neurotransmitters, healing chemicals. Otherwise, we're always in you guys probably experience it too. You have a goal, you get to the goal, you have a new goal. And we got to take time to celebrate those small victories, to really appreciate it.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you ever discover that you've got these entrepreneurs, they experience sort of an unprecedented level of success, and because of the work with you, they eventually decide to either step away or to step back from how hard they're pushing on creating success?
Okay, I don't know if it's in the field bigger than my circle of entrepreneurs and friends, but I've seen in the last 18 months, I've seen so many of these really high-level entrepreneurs pull back, take a break, kind of reinvent themselves. I think there's something going on in the astrology, whatever. I'll share this piece. I conducted a retreat for a group of really high-level 6 or 7 entrepreneurs, and these guys are all 6, 7, 8 figures, kind of intimidating to me because who am I to help them, and yet who am I not to? But what I learned is that they were creating their businesses out of lack and compensation. And the whole what came through for them through the breath work, through the meditation, is they're going to reform their businesses so they're creating from this place of I'm already enough. I want to make my input. I'm already enough. I don't have to compensate for it. And that was super inspiring. And so yeah, I think I have seen them change the way they run their businesses, the way they run their meetings. Bringing breath work in for 5 minutes at the beginning of a staff meeting, then everybody's in the right state.
So
you don't have to put out so many fires.
We could talk to you for eternities, but we don't have much time. But your work is so great. Where can people find you?
So my website is called Pathway of Power, and I have a retreat coming up in Idlewild, California, 2 hours from here, and that one is www.mountaininitiation.com, where people can come up for 3 days, train all the gates, and implement them in their life, and leave with a plan for their company or their business.
Superb.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for creating this pathway. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land. A Long Time, your new single, produced by Pooh Bear.
Yes.
Works with the bees.
Yes.
This is massive.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I was so amazed because I actually wrote a song about Justin Bieber in my previous album, and suddenly, you know, Pooh Bear comes along and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I gotta meet Justin. This is like, this is fate, this is destiny right here. So yeah, it was an amazing experience working with him. He's super talented, he's so humble, he's so down to earth, and it was just a blast working with him. You know, I'm living the best life. I have great parents, I have such good friends, I have a dream, you know, I have my music, I have my friends, so I think I'm really happy.
Welcome back to Purpose. I am your host, Brittany Zonker. I am flying with Andrew Seeley, the acro yoga instructor. This is insane, guys. I've been like this for like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
it
just hanging out.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out. It feels like you should do this every day to me.
You can set up some sessions.
This feels amazing.
Yeah.
You guys, if you want to train with Andrew Seeley, all you have to do is look him up on Instagram. He is absolutely incredible. I've had an amazing time interviewing Mr. Seeley today. He teaches all over the world. He will help your body, mind, and your soul find your purpose. For this episode of Purpose, I'm your host, Brittany Zonker. I'll see you next time.
I mean, you have been a host and much more than that for many, many years. Any tips you can give us?
You start early in the morning here, so as long as you have somebody who like picks up the speed for you, it's kind of like any relationship, right? Like someone has to have your back. Like if they know, like you're not knowing where the next camera is, the next question, you know, as long as you're in tune with each other. But I think your show is incredible, and I'm so thrilled that I could be a part of it today. But more than that, it is about saying, hey, you know what, we need to impact change. What is the one little way in our own world that we can impact change? And whether it's you guys interviewing certain people, bringing awareness to topics, this is what needs to happen, because we've all woken up and we know we know what the future is if we keep going down this path.
I know that the calling and the purpose is so much greater than me trying to get my hair right, to go to the red carpet and whatever. I got to keep up because the purpose is so great.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. I'm so thrilled to have one of my dearest friends, Robert Shard, on the show, and his lovely, amazing partner, Meg Elsperman. I want to get that right. You guys, okay, so Robert's been, of course, he said, huge actor, has been on Coach Carter, tons of shows, one-on-one. He is a serial entrepreneur. They have a new product they're up to. I want to hear about everything, you guys.
So good morning, everybody. How's it going? Hi. Yeah. So, you know, so this is so awesome. So I really came across what she was building as a customer. I get injured all the time, and she put this product on me, and it's called Reborns for muscle and joint pain. And I live and work with doctors. I went to Johns Hopkins University, and I have a lot of friends who are doctors, and I had a doctor tell me, you'll be limping for 3 weeks. So then she took this oil and rubbed it on. She used just a touch of it. And the next morning, I couldn't believe when I got out of bed that I could stand and walk. I was like, what is this? So I started giving it to my friends who are MMA fighters and whatnot, and she's a boxer, and she sort of created this healing product, and now we have a vision of transforming suffering for all.
Wait, you're a boxer?
Yeah, I'm a boxer.
Wow! So tell us about that, and what was the catalyst for creating this oil?
Yeah, so I studied microbiology at DePaul University, and I started boxing amateur, and so I was always getting bruises on my face, and I was trying to manage my own pain because I was in sales at the time. And so I formulated this product, Reborn, and I used it on a few fighters at the gym, and everyone was coming back saying that I healed them. I'm like, I didn't heal you. I don't even know what I'm doing. And it kind of spun off into Transform Suffering for All. And so I've had every walk of life be able to benefit from it.
What's in the secret sauce?
Well, it's a proprietary blend, but everything is from the earth, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Can I buy it in like bucketfuls so that I can dip entire human beings into it?
Yeah, we're working on that.
It's called a punch bag. We're building a punching bag.
Because I want to get people like inside and out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just funny that you said that because we're actually building that right now.
Yeah.
We work also for everything from professional athletes to people who are really suffering. So we're using this product for healing for cancer patients, people like that, but also for athletes like your LeBron Jameses and actually equestrian sports like horses and whatnot.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What's been the toughest part about building this business?
I'll probably start there. So I think that it's very important that you always have service and bringing value to whatever you're doing, and that you actually have a solution for people. And that's this thing called DNA, which I think that everything that's in living has DNA. Your mom and dad created you, came together, and that's your DNA. And as you build, you're building that same code. And if you get injured, your DNA is what's helping to correct you and put you back. So when you're building a business, this is a lot like a baby. You got to have the DNA. And so we really worked together during the time of Christmas time and whatnot, was really spiritual on what's the DNA for our business. And we got down to this one sentence: transform suffering for all. But there was so much work that went into that, like 14 hours driving between Atlanta and Florida, that was like, so what do we do? I'm like, do we heal for dolphins? Do we heal for ants? Do we heal for beetles? And we have this June bug in our house that's a model because it was on the ground and it couldn't fly anymore, and we took a little touch of Reborn and put on there, and then he flew away. Got better and flew away. He visits the house all the time now.
Wow.
So I was thinking, like, you guys have the segment on Haunted Hayrides. I'm like, we heal the monsters, leprechauns, aliens.
Yeah.
We transform suffering for all.
So what I love about you guys is that, first of all, I mean, I'm new to know you, Meg, within the last, 6 months or so?
About 6 months.
Yeah. And you're so amazing. You have this beautiful spirit about you. And then Robert Richard is one of the most charismatic. He knows every single person in this town. He literally has people and friends across the globe. Like, he is, I mean, it's ridiculous. You guys are so beautiful. I mean, you could be doing anything. What was it that had you specifically, I know you're calling around your career, but what was it that, came to a potion out of all things?
Honestly, it was all God. I am very, very spiritual, and God gave me this gift. And so I have the gift of healing by touch, and then also I wanted to formulate something, here's the lore, but that I could give to anybody without me physically putting my hands on them, and they would be able to benefit from the same healing. So
I'm obsessed with the idea of healing.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. What would you say is the essence of healing, particularly, and not through potion, but through healing touch, or what would you say is the end for you?
I think it's believing that you can be healed by something at such a high power, and it's no medicine, it's no doctor's touch, it's all God. God heals all.
Absolutely. And also, too, just the balance in general. Sometimes we have imbalance in our life, and that can be physical, mental, cerebral, it can be emotional, it can be spiritual imbalance. And a lot of what you guys are doing is identifying imbalance and figuring out ways to bring people on this show that can correct that and give people balance again. And I think it's beautiful. So I think balance comes as a big part of that. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. So, okay, so how do people work with you? Do they come to the events? Do they just buy the product? What does that look like?
Yeah, so this one's a lure. So this is Beauty Rest in a Bottle. So you actually can get this on Instagram, follow us on Instagram. It's EPM Products with an X. Or you can text #EPM to order, and it's 1-949-375-7485.
Yeah, everyone's on the Instagram these days, so you just go to @EPM Products, and we're building a business that looking to they're going to Mars, and we want to send lures and gift bags.
You just did another movie, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So I also work in entertainment. I've got 5 movies coming out right now. Yeah, one drops this Friday. It's called Kinky, and it's an amazing movie about a surgeon who has her whole life together. She got her connection with God and her family and her friends, and she's not looking to explore any relationships, and then she meets a guy, and he falls in love at first sight, and he goes for her, and she starts to have these dreams, and she calls her therapist. She's like, is this normal that I'm dreaming about this guy at night? And so he invites her on a yacht, and it's not just what he's saying to her, it's what he's really saying to her. And then he sends her like 60 dozen roses. Who doesn't
60
want
dozen?
Yeah, who doesn't want
Wow.
that?
Killing it.
He's a financial tycoon, he's a hedge fund manager, and he's building empires, and he starts to build himself inside of her, no pun intended.
Wow. But you've worked with some of the top, celebrities in town. Paris, you were co-host with Paris Hilton on one of the movies. And what does that look like? What have you learned from all this? What's your biggest takeaway from Hollywood?
Oh, I still love it. I love it for all the reasons why I got into it. Was just staying out of trouble. Yeah. I'm from Los Angeles, born and raised, and I was really in gang life, and I was getting ready to get into a fight, and I didn't want to fight that day, and I went into a random building. Just happened to be an acting school, and I was just in there stalling. What are you guys doing here? Can I get a tour? Is there an application to fill out? Pretty girls there. And then, that's kind of how I got to theater training, and that's why I'm a big advocate for after-school programs, because I think it's important that kids have something productive to do as opposed to participating in destructive activities.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah, so that's my hustle. That's how I got into it.
And that was 13 years old?
I was 13, yeah. So I'm in the business 22 years now. I don't look it because I have a lure. This is actually, I use this every single day, just a touch. This bottle right here is 1 ounce. It'll probably last you 120 uses because you're using that little of it. And it's really healing you from the cellular level. So it's healing your cells heal you, and then that's just how it works.
Wow.
Sounds good. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Right. So fun, you guys.
So I'm going to plug all my other movies right now because this is the time. So I have a Throwback Holiday. It's coming out. It's a holiday movie that's kind of like A Christmas Story. And I play that with Jennifer Freeman. She was on My Wife and Kids, and she plays my love interest, and she's amazing. And then I have another movie called Bolden coming out that's about the birth of jazz music. Oh, it's incredible. Imagine R. Kelly 150 years ago, just like fighting with band members and peeing on people and all that stuff. So, but it's actually a story about how this American art form that was built by this one person, how our country tried to take his talent and then get rid of him. So he ended up in jail and insane asylum, so it drove him to being literally schizophrenic. Wow. But to steal his art form, which became what we call modern day radio. And then I have another movie coming out called Real Talk that I play the boyfriend of a disc jockey who's cheating on her. And then My Brother's Keeper is my Christian movie that's coming out, and that'll be out next year.
5 movies. You better drink that, man. You better drink the whole
You know what's so funny? The part of the reason why I can swear by this is because I took a little drink of it to see if it would how I'd feel afterwards, and I felt great. So I was just like, okay, I can give this to anybody.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
Love you guys. God bless.
Thank you.
Awesome. Love you guys.
So awesome.
So awesome.
Oh, thanks, man.
Long time, your new single, produced by Pooh Bear.
Yes.
Works with the bees. Yes.
I know,
this is massive.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I was so amazed because I actually wrote a song about Justin Bieber in my previous album, and suddenly, Pooh Bear comes along, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I gotta meet Justin. This is fate, this is destiny right here. So yeah, it was an amazing experience working with him. He's super talented, he's so humble, he's so down to earth, and it was just a blast working with him. I'm living the best life. I have great parents, I have such good friends, I have a dream, I have my music, I have my friends, so I think I'm really happy.
Welcome back to Purpose. I am your host, Brittany Zonker. I am flying with Andrew Seeley, the acro yoga instructor. This is insane, guys. This for like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Out. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. It feels like you should do this every day to me.
You can set up some sessions.
This feels amazing.
Yeah.
You guys, if you want to train with Andrew Seeley, all you have to do is look him up on Instagram. He is absolutely incredible. I've had an amazing time interviewing Mr. Seeley today. He teaches all over the world. He will help your body, mind, and your soul find your purpose.
For this episode of Purpose, I'm your host, Brittany Zonker. I'll see you next time.
I mean, you have been a host and much more than that for many, many years. Any tips you can give us?
You start early in the morning here, so as long as you have somebody who like picks up the speed for you, it's kind of like any relationship, right? Like someone has to have your back. Like if they know like you're not knowing where the next camera is, the next question, you know, as long as you're in tune with each other. But I think your show is incredible, and I'm so thrilled that I could be a part of it today. But more than that, it is about saying, hey, you know what, we need to impact change. What is the one little way in our own world that we can impact change? And whether it's you guys interviewing certain people, bringing awareness to topics, this is what needs to happen, because we've all woken up and we know, we know what the future is if we keep going down this path.
I know that the calling and the purpose is so much greater than me trying to get my hair right, to go to the red carpet and whatever. I got to keep up because the purpose is so great. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning LaLaLand. I'm so excited to welcome entrepreneur, founder of Vanish, Daisy Jing, to the show.
Thank you so much, Jessalyn.
I'm so excited
to be here.
That you're here. You know, we were mentioning your products at the top of the show, and you have such an incredible story.
Yes.
An inspiration that really launched an incredible business. So take us back there.
Okay, so I grew up in Minnesota, and I was the only Asian in my school in the city. Going to school, you know, the teachers, blonde hair, blue eyes, students, you know, nobody looked like me, and I immediately felt different. And I looked at, you know, the celebrities, and I looked on TV, no one looked like me. So I felt like an outsider from a young age. At 9 years old, I had developed my first pimple. And ever since then, it changed my life. Just pimple after pimple, acne after acne. And it got so bad, I got these deep cystule nodules in my face. I remember specifically looking in the mirror, being like, should I wash my face, should I not? Because they would bleed. Like these pimples would bleed. And I was like, the bus is coming in 5 minutes, I don't know what to do. So I'd wash my face, and then 3 big splotches of like blood would start falling out. My towels were stained with blood. I like held like a tissue on my face, and I ran out. And you know, kids, they're not nice. They would start making fun of me, being like, why is your face bleeding? Like, why are there holes in your face? And you know, from a young age, I've suffered with acne, and I've suffered with trying everything out there on the market. You know, my family and I, we spent maybe $20,000 on dermatologists, plastic surgeons, you know, herb special healists, everything out there, and nothing seemed to work. And it was because I was allergic to almost everything out there. Like, I'm very sensitive to everything. I have every kind of skin issue you can imagine. So the current products out there, like
benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid.
They're very harsh on my skin. And you know, benzoyl peroxide actually makes my hair bleach. It bleaches towels and your sheets. I don't know if you guys have. It bleaches, and imagine what it's doing to your skin on a cellular level. So my skin would just break out even more and more from using these products out there. And I actually have, you know, some pictures of what it used to look like. Like, it was just really, really like hard on my skin. And so 5 years, or I started my business 5 years ago, but 10 years before that, I turned on my YouTube camera, and I was like, okay, just gonna turn it on, see what happens. And I did a video without any makeup on, sharing myself with my skin. And I was super vulnerable, and I told people how I felt and how I was ashamed of looking at people and talking to them. And then, you know, 5 views went to 10 views, went to 20 views, and I noticed that, hey, I can be myself, and people will appreciate me even if I don't look perfect. And then 5 years after that, I wanted to get my skin lasered. So I saved up $2,000 for the first laser treatment. And when I went to go there, it was a mutual friend who introduced me to this plastic surgeon. He said, laser is not gonna work for your skin because your skin is dark, or it's gonna pigment brown, so it's not gonna work. Lasers are not gonna work. And he recommended me something called microneedling with a vitamin C kind of component to it. So I did that at home, and without even thinking about it, people on YouTube were like, Daisy, what are you doing to your skin? Like, what happened to your acne scars? Like, what happened? My mom noticed, my friends noticed, people started noticing, and they're like, I wanna buy it from you. So I was like, okay, if you really wanna buy it from me, here you go. And the rest is history. So that was 5 years ago.
Great story.
Congratulations, and thank you for being so strong and having courage to be real and raw and vulnerable, especially on a platform like YouTube, where people can love or hate you for it. And it takes a lot of courage. I really admire that in you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about it. So we've got the needle roller, and I've used these. These are super amazing. What
Yes. So so what this is it's based on microneedling. So it has tiny, tiny little pricks on it, and what it does is it kind of pokes tiny little holes in your skin, and your skin interprets that as an injury. So the collagen and elastin fibers underneath are going to be like, hey, what's going on? There's a tiny hole, and they're going to start building. So it's really great for flattening out any acne scars, fine lines and wrinkles, collagen growth. And then we have our vitamin C serum, which is our banished oil here, and we actually make it fresh in Pasadena, California. So if you order it, for example, today, the team will make it and then ship it out to you the next day. And what's really important about vitamin C is that you need it to be fresh so that it is active and it can go really deep into the skin. So you use the microneedling roller over, you put the banished oil on top, and then it just builds the collagen and elastin fibers.
Do you do the oil first or do you roll first?
You roll first.
Okay. Create the holes. Then
you put this in, and then your skin's going to rebuild itself. And then our customers say the next day they have this amazing glow to the skin, and your acne scars seem a little flatter, you know, like more ironed out.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, thank you so much for all your work. Where can they purchase this? Where can they find you?
Banished.com.
Okay, that's simple.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving us our confidence back. I can't wait to put my best face forward. Stay tuned. Tune in tomorrow, and I'll have banished myself.
Before and after.
Yeah, a little before and after. We'll be back tomorrow. Good morning, La La Land.
You got this, girl. Here we go.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me laugh.
That was a good practice run, though.
It was a practice run, a little slow on the uptake. Let's.
Hi, my name is Jessie Golden, and I am the creator of The Golden Secrets, a completely, no, hang on a second, sorry. Can we start over?
I'm Wendy Brokaw. I'm Paula Marshall. By the way, this is politics, okay? This is not ticks. I hated it. Let's do it one more time.
Well, that's why I created Just a Thought meditation recordings, so that you can meditate in your sleep. Pause it there. Can you edit it in?
Being new in town, it gives me a perspective on, oh shit, no, that was wrong.
No, can we start all over? That's too much talking.
No, I'm an actress. I mean, you've seen me. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's like so hard. It's so hard.
That was so hard.
Once you go chocolate, you don't want to stop it.
Oh, God.
I'll stop.
Let's do it one more time.
Bitching,
Didn't work.
complaining.
Let me do it one more time.
We're gonna do it one more time.
Ready? And action.
Do I just talk again? If you are vegan, you get a vegan broth. Jesus, guys. Fuck. I'm blah, blah.
I wish my boots looked like yours. Where are they?
It's single issue. Single issue! Single issue!
Andy, did I make it fun yet? Thank you.
It's no longer a golden secret.
We're done!
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've got a final question of the day here on Wealth Wednesday, and that is, if there's one tip you would give to everybody out there on how to build wealth in their lives, what would you recommend? Let's start with you.
Yeah, I would say it would be around the work of owning your value, doing those affirmations and getting the deep work so you can be open to receive and not let those opportunities just pass by and wash over you. Really, like, build your cup.
Yeah.
Love that. Absolutely. What about you, Jerry?
I think the first thing that got me was clearly defining your assets and liabilities. So what I did that shocked me was I wrote down a list of my liabilities, then I wrote down a list of my assets, and then I said, does this add up with my goal in the future? So list out your liabilities, list out your assets, and see where you really are.
Love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
I would say the 3 Ds. So DNA, you have to have DNA for what you're doing, and then do something different. That's a very, very important.
I like
Something
that.
different.
Yeah,
Nice.
and then the third one is a destination, a clear address of where you want to be. If you give me an address in any place in the world, I can get there if I have the number and the street name. Same thing goes to a business or building kind of wealth. You've got to specifically pick where you want to be.
So well said.
Fantastic.
I would say stay in good faith with God, and then always wake up as early as you can get up at 5 a.m. and then work tirelessly all day.
Oh, fantastic.
Never give up. Yeah.
I would say activate. I think obviously you can't do anything if you don't start. So start. I think people think themselves into an action, and it's the biggest dream killer in the world. So start.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'd say first, be of service to other people. Focus on providing value for them, because if you focus on creating the best value, the money will flow. And then the second is just focus. Focus on what you can do today and tomorrow and the next day. Don't compare yourself to other people. Focus, yep.
Well, we are Good Morning LaLaLand on Focus TV Network. We are America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday live at 9 a.m. You can also listen to all your favorite interviews available as a podcast on iTunes.
Please like, share, subscribe, all the above. We're waking up the world together. Have a wonderful Wealth Wednesday.
It's going to be a Good Morning LaLaLand. Don't miss that.